The Phillies in Game 4 of the NLDS and are heading back to the NLCS in one of the most thrilling postseason games in Dodgers history. We're going to hear from all the players inside the Dodgers clubhouse. I just got back to the studio from inside that Dodgers clubhouse, and we are going to break it all down next on a special episode. Might have a surprise for you guys. A special episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warrior Parade. We got it, Parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and hit that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. We're doing a giveaway, a Clayton Kershaw 3,000 strikeout bobblehead, CK3K. Comment down below. Also giving one away for the LA Sports Report. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's party, Dodgers Nation. What a thrilling game. I was inside that Dodgers clubhouse, got some interviews, got some exclusive content for you guys, dropped a behind-the-scenes video. You can watch that in a little bit. It was just incredible, an incredible afternoon that turned into the evening at Dodger Stadium. We're going to break it all down. Settle in, because we got player interviews. We're going to give you my thoughts because I want your thoughts. I met a lot of you guys today at Dodger Stadium, but of course it was a big win for the Dodgers. And you know, look, I got my prediction right. I got Dodgers in 4. And this is a Dodgers team that I think is well positioned to go back-to-back and do something that no team has done in Major League Baseball since the 2000 Yankees, and that is win back-to-back World Series titles. Today, it felt like Game 5 of the NLDS last year, where after that win, it felt like the toughest team that they were going to face they had beaten. And I think that's the case today with that Phillies team. I think that Phillies team, quite frankly, is better than that Padres team ever will be. And the Dodgers, they beat them in 4 games. So, of course, got to celebrate. Little shoey action here. It was a party in the Dodgers clubhouse. Wow. That one feels good. Watch all those players drink beers and champagne. I needed to have one myself because it went down in that Dodgers clubhouse. What a game, Dodgers Nation. What a game. What did I say about Tyler Glasnow? Oh, he's soft. Oh, Tyler Glasnow is Tyler Glass arm. I said that was Glass then, and this is Glass now. And that is where we're going to start with this one. So many plays to get into, so much to break down. And I think the story tonight, it starts with Tyler Glasnow, because Tyler Glasnow and Cristopher Sanchez, they put on a show. That was a pitching clinic. That was a classic pitcher's duel with 2 elite pitchers going up against 2 elite lineups. I want to point that out. You got the top 2 MVP vote getters in the National League, Shohei Ohtani and Kyle Schwarber going up against each other. You had the Bryce Harpers and Mookie Bettses, these MVPs. It felt like a heavyweight title fight, and they were going punch for punch, blow for blow, and it turned out to be some bad defense at the end, and I cannot wait to talk about that. But give Tyler Glasnow a ton of credit. Tyler Glasnow was phenomenal in this one. He ends up going 6 innings, gave up just 2 hits, both singles. He was so good. He was pulled after only 83 pitches, had 6 scoreless innings under his belt, and he was executing pitches all night long. Tyler Glasnow showed tonight why the Dodgers traded for him, why you gave up Ryan Pepiot and Johnny DeLuca and signed him to an extension before even having him pitch a single pitch for you, because of the high upside talent, because of the stuff that plays in a big postseason game. And he was absolutely outstanding in this one. Absolutely outstanding. He gave up a double to Schwarber in the first inning on a 2-2 pitch. It was a curveball, left it up a little bit. And then the rest of the game, he was in control. Top of the second goes 1-2-3. Top of the third goes 1-2-3. Walked Bohm in the 4th inning. And then in the 6th inning, Bohm singled to center. But outside of that, Tyler Glasnow was outstanding in this one. The stuff was moving in the zone. He had the feel for that fastball that was running in to right-handed hitters. And on the night, Tyler Glasnow, no runs on 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, going pitch for pitch, toe-to-toe with Cristopher Sanchez. 83 pitches, 55 for strikes. And all the talk about Tyler Glasnow, is he a bullpen guy? What is Tyler Glasnow? What if I told you before this series that it wasn't going to be Shohei Ohtani, it wasn't going to be Blake Snell, it wasn't going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who gave the Dodgers their most important and impactful start of the series? It was Tyler Glasnow. So first things first, let's show some love to Tyler Glasnow, the Santa Clarita Kid, coming home and just being absolutely excellent for this team. Just absolutely fantastic, giving them everything they needed. He was crisp. He had the shadows, so that was to his benefit later in the game. But this was a Phillies team that had just come off of scoring a ton of runs against Yamamoto and Clayton Kershaw, and the bats were going, and Schwarber did get a double in this one, but you kept the ball in the yard. I thought Tyler Glasnow was just incredible, and I look at the future of this team and the rotation that they do have, and I think it's fair to say that if Tyler Glasnow can stay healthy, you better put him in the same tier as the rest of these guys, the Yamamotos, the Snells, the Shohei Ohtanis, because his stuff was as good as anyone the way it was playing. On Tyler Glasnow, Roki came in, was fantastic, but the player of the game for me was Tyler Glasnow. And just, he was shoving, he was composed, he was poised, he didn't get rattled. And I think today was the most significant start in his career. And I think the peak of his baseball career, because I think this team goes on to win the World Series. And I think we look back at this start for a long time saying that that was your best start. You won the World Series last year and you didn't participate. You were injured. Everyone wanted to throw that injury-prone label on you. This year, people were saying, oh, he's a diva. He needs perfect conditions, right? Something was wrong with his cleats. He had a blister. He had cramps. And I did talk to him after the game, and yeah, he was dealing with some cramps, and he was cramping a little bit, but still, I mean, he was outstanding in this one. Put some respect on Tyler Glasnow's name, and it gives the Dodgers another starting pitcher that would be a number 1 starter, an ace for most teams in Major League Baseball. Here was Tyler Glasnow. Could not be happier for this dude. Hey, take your narrative and put it up your you-know-what when it comes to Glass. My man was out there shoving, gave the Dodgers exactly what they needed, and he put them in a position to win this game.
You were phenomenal tonight on the mound, 7 shutout innings. Tell me about just the emotions going out there and being able to show up for your team in such a big fashion today.
Yeah, it was incredible. I think like the adrenaline was there. Just Will was calling a great game. Had a great job behind the plate. Great defense. Everything was great. It felt awesome. Woo.
This exact moment.
Goggles on. Goggles on. incredible. I think just trying to get into that rhythm all game long and just to be able to go out and throw some good innings, get out of it with the win in my hometown, it's incredible. Yeah.
The bullpen tonight, passing it on to Roki Sasaki, all the other guys, Alex Vesia, the list goes on. What were you seeing from them just watching from the dugout?
They grind. They want to win. They go out and pitch. It just doesn't matter what role it is. Guys will come in, compete, will do whatever they have to do, and it just shows how much we want to win.
Okay, so tell me, what was it like watching how this game came to an end?
Say it again, sorry.
Watching this game come to an end, what was it like just watching?
It was nerve-wracking. It was almost like more watching than doing it. Like, it was crazy. Just so many ups and downs and a lot of good pitching tonight, and then that last inning was just incredible. Turned into a little kid, ran around. It was awesome.
And you guys are moving on to the NLCS. Congratulations, an incredible outing today. And the next step, the NLCS. Congrats, Tyler.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And Glasnow told me, he said, hey, once Hyeon-seong Kim crossed home plate, that he did feel like a kid playing Little League in Santa Clarita, and just the dreams of growing up 30 miles away from Dodger Stadium and realizing that dream. And I think what you also saw with Tyler was a great adjustment throughout this game. I mean, he gives up the double to Schwarber on a curveball, middle, and the next time he faces Schwarber, he wasn't messing around. He goes curveball, changes eye levels. He's working down in the zone with that curveball, and then in the third pitch, fastball up in the zone, gets him swinging. So he was outstanding. I mean, he topped out at 99.1 miles per hour. He was great. And here's how you know that Tyler Glasnow silenced the haters, how he silences critics. Heading into this game, the conversation about Tyler Glasnow was this. It was, hey, how long do you think we'll get out of him? Will we get 4? Will we get 5? And then go to Vesia or Sheehan, then Vesia and some combination? And then when do we work in Roki? Could we see Shohei Ohtani, a starter? I mean, we were talking about all kinds of different machinations of how this game would go as far as lanes for their pitchers. When this game started, it was like, hey, just don't blow up, right? Don't have a blow-up inning. Give us at least 5. Tyler Glasnow's outing went from how long is he going to give us to why do we take this guy out? Is this going to be another Rich Hill situation? Well, he is a certified postseason dog at this point, and to me, he is one of the players of the game. Might be the player of the game because the Dodgers, they really struggled with Cristopher Sanchez. We saw that early on and throughout this game. And with Sanchez, you got to give him credit because he did a really, really nice job of adjusting in this one. With Sanchez, they were really trying to attack him on pitches in the zone early on in this game. Sanchez recognized that, and then he started to throw more curveballs. I mean, more changeups, more off-speed pitches. And that changeup, that is his best pitch. That was, it's one of the best changeups in baseball. It absolutely lived up to the hype. And with his outing today, you see why it was such a great challenge. He threw sinker, changeup, slider in this one, but he threw 43% changeup, and it's just such an effective pitch. And this Dodgers team, they end up getting 7 hits, just 4 hits for the Phillies tonight. The key of this game, you had some errors, and you had Roki Sasaki. So we'll get to Roki, but now let's move to Emmet Sheehan. So Emmet Sheehan comes in after Tyler Glasnow goes 6 innings. Emmet Sheehan comes in the 7th inning, and this was a little concerning. He looked a little shaky early, didn't have the great body language, the facial expressions. It looked like, okay, this is a big spot for him. How's he going to handle it? He goes in there, very first batter. He gets up in the count to Realmuto, but then it's a slider, a little off the plate, not the worst pitch, especially for a 2-strike count. So I think that was just, you got to tip your cap to Realmuto singling that situation. But what really hurt Sheehan, next batter, you had Kepler at the plate. You got a runner on first, and it is as tight as it can be. It's a 0-0 game in the 7th inning. And then Kepler, he hits one that it should have been a double play. It should have been a 3-6-1 double play. He hits it to first. that Freddie goes to Mookie. Mookie makes a really nice throw back to Sheehan, and Sheehan just lets the ball get right past his glove. He just straight whiffed it. I mean, the glove just was not in the right place. The ball gets behind him. It goes in the dugout, and that allows the Phillies to get a runner on second base in a critical spot. And I was reminded of this statistic during this season. The Dodgers 26-28 this year when they commit an error. 16-20 when they allow an unearned run. You started to really get concerned with Real Muto. They get him at second, and then Kepler able to go to second, puts it running in scoring position. Next batter, Nick Castellanos on the 1-2. Four-seam fastball up and in, and he doubles to left. That scores Kepler. That made it a 1-0 game. So I know everyone's riding on Emmet Sheehan. And should Tyler Glasnow have stayed in the game at 83 pitches? I think certainly, especially when we've heard all postseason they're going to stretch these starters out. They're going to get them to 100 pitches. If they're consistently getting outs, then sure, let's stick with their guy. I do think that the stuff was trending down a little bit, and you don't want to give Schwarber and Bryce Harper and Trey Turner and Bohm and Stott. You don't want to give these guys a lot of looks on Glasnow. At some point, you thought maybe they're going to come through. Well, I do think it was the cramps. And I talked to Glasnow after the game. I think the cramps kind of crept in a little bit. I still think he was one to go out there. He told me, yeah, I want to go out there. And all starting pitchers want to go out there. That's what he told me. He said he wanted to go back out there. But he also gave a lot of credit to that bullpen who stepped up. So I think in hindsight, yes, Sheehan did give up a run, but he did limit the damage. He did limit the damage because the Phillies get 2 hits in that inning, and then Trey Turner comes up to the plate, and thankfully it was playoff T. Thankfully it was the Trey Turner that we know and love. Yeah, the guy who's not good in the postseason, right? He's not a good postseason player, not a good postseason hitter. He's not disciplined at pitches off the plate. The game plan against him was, okay, get ahead in the count, and then go slider off the plate. And feels like 9 times out of 10, playoff T, Trey Turner is going to swing at that and miss at that. And it's exactly what happened. 5th pitch of the at-bat, they go the slider off the plate. Trey Turner swings and misses, and the Dodgers are able to get out of the inning. So, yes, in a perfect world, Glasnow is feeling 100%, and he's staying out there, and he's giving you a 7th inning, and then you're just going to Roki. You don't even need to use Emmet Sheehan. But now I think Emmet Sheehan hopefully kind of shakes some of those nerves off, is a little more battle-tested, and for him to bounce back the way he did, he got Stott to fly out to center for the second out, and he got Turner to strike out swinging with the runner on second base. So that could have gotten away from them. It was a costly error by Sheehan, but the fact that he limited that damage and you get him valuable playoff experience, and the fact that this ends up as an extra innings game anyway, you can live with that. So I'm fine with Sheehan being in that situation just because of what I heard from Glasnow, what I saw with my eyes with Glasnow, and I think ultimately Sheehan's going to be one of those handful of guys that they're going to be using, right? You didn't see Blake trying that situation. You saw Emmet Sheehan, and it wasn't perfect, but he did limit the damage. Here's Emmet Sheehan after the game.
With 2 of the bullpen dogs, is Emmet Sheehan an official bullpen dog after this series?
100%. What? Absolutely. Oh, give it to me. Oh, sorry, Vesia. That's my dad.
That was Jack Dreyer, another one of the bullpen dogs. Emmet, what's it been like for you to contribute the way you did in this series and be embraced?
It's unbelievable. I'm so grateful for these guys helping me out in the bullpen, show me the ropes. I tried to mess it up today. We were too good. We were too good for that.
Woo! All right, thank you, guys.
I got some super chats. Andy Chen 199 D-Max Stradamus on calling Roki him from the start. Yeah, I saw. Look, I'm not going to take credit. Not going to be do a victory lap. But let's be honest. There's a lot of shows about the Dodgers. There's a lot of shows about the Dodgers. The show you're watching was the very first show that named Roki Sasaki, that talked about Roki Sasaki, that mentioned him signing with the Dodgers. I've done more videos on Roki Sasaki than anyone on the planet, right? And the reason why I believe so much in the guy is because of the makeup, because of the mindset, because he wants not to just be good, he wants to be one of the greatest ever. He's driven with that same tenacity, that same work ethic, that same will, that same cloth that Shohei Ohtani is cut from. I truly believe that Roki Sasaki is cut from. So, yeah, look, that was electric. I got another super chat, my man, Ryan Montaz. I can't stress how huge winning this series is. A classic Nlds. As people mentioned, this series could prove who wins it all this year. By the way, I hope the Dodgers daddy and Braves Beta are crying together. Go Dodgers. Rack 'em. I like that. What up, D-Mac? Let's do some more. We got to N-Rocks, Jack, Jeremy Buckley, Roki-san, Wax on, Throw Gas, Ron Gonzalez, Roki of the Post is the real deal. Mike Rodriguez, Teo helped Durant after Mookie got the game tying walk. Okay, we'll keep going with this one. Is the bullpen back? What's up, Dirty Don? 199 super chat, my man. Are they back? I think that they're a new bullpen. I think it's tough. Who knows what these guys are with Roki Sasaki going 3 scoreless in a tied game with everything on the line. The truth is they didn't really have guys that could do this in the past. With that level of upside talent, no, this is a different version of this Dodgers bullpen. And I totally think that from a confidence standpoint, the guy's riding high. He's going to look back on this and say, this might be light work. This is a guy that wants to go out there and go and do this, not just for 3 innings, but for 6 or 7 innings. So getting a little bit ahead of myself because we're going to go through this inning by inning, moment by moment, because it was such a thrilling and riveting game all throughout that there were so many twists and turns. And for a game that I saw your comment, BC, about Kerkering. That's a good one. D-Mac, you owe your boy the Fresh Prince. You were paid saying that Rottweiler should be catching because Will was calling a bad game. Dan Moreno. Hey, Will Smith came through, and did he call a bad game yesterday? He went through a lot of fastballs to Yamamoto. He came through today, and you got to give a lot of credit to Tyler Glasnow. We got Don Kim. Wait, when did D-Mac start this live? I'm still on the other scheduled live by D-Mac. Well, no, we're on this live now. D-Mac got to get dinner. Bullpen stinks. What bullpen are you talking about? The one with Roki Sasaki certainly does not. I still believe in Emmet. That's from Delirium. What I said about Will Smith was saying that those are going, based on what happened last night, that those would be natural conversations that you would have, right? And I think tonight, it felt like the game plan was just better. There was more versatility in Tyler Glasnow's mix. And he proved tonight why he's an all-star catcher. So, bottom of the 7th inning after, and this was so pivotal in this game. I see the super chats flying in there. I got $4.99 from Foul Play Rob. Realmuto is pointing to first at Kerkering, like J. Cole was pointing at, like Cole was pointing at first to Rizzo at a decisive game. Yeah, I cannot wait to talk about that. Give me a second here. I'll get to that. But I think what was so impressive about this Dodgers team is, look, there's nothing worse. There is not an ickier feeling than being at Dodger Stadium or watching a Dodgers postseason game from your couch at home. There's not an ickier, more uncomfortable feeling than watching a Dodger baseball game in the postseason where they are trailing. The crowd gets tight. It gets quiet. The nervous energy's bad. The players can feel it. They start pressing. So it was so pivotal after you gave up the lead and the Phillies scored 1 run on 2 hits there in the 7th inning, that right in the very next inning, bottom of the 7th inning, the Dodgers, they tied the game right away. Cristopher Sanchez, he walks call the second batter he faced that inning. By the way, I don't know what he's going to get him, but Cristopher Sanchez better get his daddy, Alex Call, something really nice for Father's Day next year. Because Alex Call absolutely owns Cristopher Sanchez. Heading into this series was 2 for 10 with 2 home runs against him. Today, it felt like he was the only Dodger who could put together consistent at-bats and get on base. In the 3rd inning, he was hit by a pitch. And then the bottom of the 5th inning, he got a 1-out single. And then in the bottom of the 7th inning, he drew a walk on 6 pitches. He did the patented Alex Call bat flip that he does for walks. And putting him in the lineup today was a great call because you just had to try to get the pitch count up for Cristopher Sanchez any way you could. Through the first couple of innings, for the first 4 or 5 innings of this one, Cristopher Sanchez was averaging around 11 to 12 pitches per inning. I mean, there was a world where he could go 7 or 8 in this one just because of how efficient he was getting ground ball outs, using that changeup. When the Dodgers were attacking the fastball early in counts, he went with that sinker, went with that changeup, and he was really effective. But what I loved about this game offensively is it was such a great team win. Starting pitching, bullpen, stars, role players, everyone contributed to this win, and we're talking about a 2-1 win. As razor thin of a margin as you can get, because Call, he draws that massive walk with 1 out in the 7th inning. And then, of course, who else? It's Mr. Keektober, the banana man at the plate with 1 out. Great at-bat by Kike. Great. He laid off a couple sinkers down and in. And what I love about Kike is he's so great in October. The moments are always there, whether it be 3 home runs against the Cubs in 2017 to send the Dodgers to the World Series, whether it be home run off Minter in 2020 in the epic Game 5 in the NLCS last year. We saw some big moments, of course, the NLDS Game 5 home run, the World Series. I mean, so many great moments for Kike. But what I love about him is even though he knows he's capable of these big moments, he doesn't go out there and just try to play hero ball. He doesn't go out there and try to, okay, we're down. Everyone knows I'm Mr. Keektober. I'm going to go force the issue. He went up there in a game where they're down 1-0. Alex Call draws the walk, and he draws a 6-pitch walk, lays off some pitches, and then he singles on the 6th pitch after that walk. And that at-bat right there, you're talking about staying inside on a pitch. It was down the zone, went to go get it, and he singled to left. And we're not talking about trying to force a double, trying to force a triple, trying to force a home run. That was a solid base hit, just trying to move the lineup forward, just trying to pass the baton and get something going. So fantastic at bat there by Kike. Yeah, the walk by Call, the single by Kike, and then Dave Roberts, he was in his bag tonight too, so give him a lot of credit this afternoon, Dave. It turned into the evening. Going to Justin Dean as a pinch runner in that situation for Alex Call kind of tells you that they're looking for some pinch running, and you got 3 guys on this team that are capable of it, with Call, with Dean, and with Hyeon-seong Kim. And then Thompson, Rob Thompson, he goes to his big dog, Johan Duran, the all-world closer. Cristopher Sanchez day was done. So give it to Kike Hernandez. That single in the 7th inning knocks Sanchez out of the game, and they play the biggest card they have. They go to Duran in the 7th. That tells you how desperate they were, and we now know later why, because they were going to use Luzardo, but Duran comes in the 7th inning, and then this was just tremendous baseball from the Dodgers, just finding a way to manufacture a run any way they can. Pages, he grounded to first. They walk Shohei Ohtani, and then Mookie Betts. Every single time it feels like when they want to walk Shohei, which is understandable. We know the matchup there. Shohei can hit a bomb off Duran. He's already proven that. They go to Mookie Betts, and this is probably not going to be talked about a lot, but Betts' at-bat against Duran. Duran had never walked a batter in his career in the postseason. Mookie lays off 2 really solid splitters down the zone to go up in the count 2-0. Then he swings and misses on a fastball. Then a couple pitches later, he lays off that fastball up out of the zone. Mookie's play discipline this year has been great, and with the bases loaded, he draws a walk. That puts the Dodgers back in a tie. They score. It's a 1-1 game, and then Teoscar Hernandez, with the bases loaded, had a terrible at-bat. I mean, he swung off at a pitch well off the plate. Not a good at-bat by Teo, but a great at-bat by Mookie to tie things at 1 against Duran. I think that was really the moment of the game early on offense. I mean, you were begging for base hits. You were begging for doubles. I wanted a relaxed blowout win. But this is a Phillies team. Like I said, that Padres team last year, not half as good as this team. That Padres team this year, not even close to being as good as this Phillies team. I think this Phillies team, I think the Phillies team that the Dodgers beat today would have beaten the 2024 Yankees, the 2024 Mets. They would definitely have beaten the 2024 Padres. I think this is the best team that this Dodgers team as a group has beaten because you had great starting pitching, lefties that are dominant with Sanchez, Luzardo, and Ranger Suarez that are a tough matchup for Shohei and Freddie Freeman, and you have a dominant closer. And they were able to score that run. I mean, they were just fighting. This Dodger team showed that fight, saying, hey, we don't know how we're going to win. We just know that we're going to win. I think that was the mindset. They just knew they were going to win. They just did not know how. And you got to give Mookie Betts a lot of credit. I think it was a big series. He was my pick to win MVP for the NLDS. Of course, there is no NLDS MVP, but Mookie did have himself a really good series. Had the triple yesterday. Today, he had bat to tie things up, and I thought he was fantastic. I think Teoscar Hernandez, Roki Sasaki, really probably be my MVPs if I had to pick one. Let me know down below who's your NLDS MVP. But coming up, we are going to keep going with this breakdown. I'm going to get to your comments. Got some more super chats. 499 Nick B. Hey, D-Mac, what was it like being in the NLDS celebration as press? Also, you broke the retirement news after next season. Yeah, I know. I did. I got to make sure that I put that out there. I got to put that out there. Are people already reporting that? Man, I was hoping to get that out there. But, yeah, it was great. And I'll tell you all about it in a minute. It was awesome. One thing that I will say is about this team is, man, this is a group of guys that are absolutely laser focused. They know they have the potential to be a special team. But yeah, I did interview Miguel Rojas, and Miguel Rojas did reveal to me that his plan is to play one more season and that he's going to retire after next year. So I dropped a behind-the-scenes video. I'll tell you some more stories from inside the Dodgers clubhouse, but I want to hear from Mookie Betts after the game. Let's show some love. I've said this for a while now. This is Shohei's franchise, but I still believe this is Mookie's team. It really is. And for Mookie to have that great at-bat, to tie things up with the walk, this team was going to win by any means necessary. And they said, hey, styles make fights. What style do you want to fight? You want ace pitchers? Let's do it, right? But they didn't have that explosive offensive game. You had the Teo bomb, which was huge, and Kike had a big double, but they found a way to win this series where you won one game 3-1, one game 5-3, and one game 2-1. So we haven't seen this team score 6 or more runs in this series. They still found a way to win, going up against a really, really good Phillies team. But here was Mookie Betts from the Dodgers clubhouse after the Dodgers beat the Phillies. Oh, Pennsylvania, man. You get beat by Penn State, by UCLA. Now the Phillies are down bad. Must suck to be a Phillies sports fan. I mean, the Eagles still winning, but still. Hey, Phillies, enjoy Cancun. Here's Mookie Betts after the game.
This game, we knew it wasn't going to be easy, but it ended in such an insane fashion. How would you just describe how this one came to an end?
I don't think you can. I mean, that game was crazy. That was two teams really fighting. I mean, literally fighting. It was like a street fight, but a baseball game. And, fortunately, we came out on top.
You look at just how you guys were able to attack them. Yes, early, it was limited, but how Tyler Glasnow set the tone. What was he able to do in this game 4?
He was throwing a lot of strikes. Keeping them off balance. Just filling up the zone. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. We called on him, and he delivered.
You saw Sanchez in game 1. What adjustments did you make to find different ways to get to him?
I didn't. I didn't. That's how good he is. I didn't. I was able to get a hit, but he pitched an amazing game. He went. They called on him, and he delivered as well.
You look at this game. Is this just an example of how you guys show fight and how you're going to battle to the very end?
tonight it took a little dribbler to the pitcher.
And Roki Sasaki, before I let you go, Roki Sasaki, how he was able to take down 9 outs. Just what was it like playing behind him?
Oh, that was amazing. That was fun. That was fun to see where he started and then see him come back and do what he's doing. I mean, he's electric, and he'll play a huge role in us winning a World Series.
Congratulations, Mookie.
Thank you.
Mookie Betts, he was massive. He's been massive, and his in-season turnaround has been phenomenal. But let's read some more comments here. Welcome to this victory edition, this NLDS celebration. Crush some more Modelo, because we're celebrating tonight. Mookie for president. That's from SSJ Radio Blue. Ray Soto, Machado, Harper, handshaking in Cancun. Tom Vernia. Eagles lost too. So the Eagles lost, the Flyers lost. Hey, I'm telling you, it's not fun to be a Philly fan. Go boo Santa Claus. We've got, UCLA beat Penn State. We've got Andy Chen. They should have brought in Mookie in the first inning. We got a super chat here, 499. D-Mac After Dark. Is it just me, or do you all hear the sirens from the BO Patrol 2? Someone got a ticket there tonight, and I'm feeling like Roki. Yeah, there were some sirens in there for sure. I'm still on an adrenaline rush from A1. Ellis Shiva Jones, Rojas for president, Rosemont Carrillo. D-Mac, come to our house for some carne asada en Morelos. Bro, I just crushed a little burrito al pastor. Check me out on Instagram at DMAC_LA. And I posted one of my favorite local taco spots here in Hollywood. I just crushed an al pastor burrito on the way home. Your boy was starving in this one, just like this Dodgers team is starving for another World Series title. Okay, I'm just like devouring this game. It's like delicious to even look at this game, because now we have moved on to Roki territory. So, top of the 8th inning, Roki Sasaki comes in. Dude, this guy, he's wired like an assassin. Like he's a hired assassin. Just coming in. Who's he facing? Top of the lineup. Kyle Schwarber, great postseason player. Second MVP voting. 56 homer guy. All right, here's a four-seamer challenging you. That was a little middle, and Schwarber probably wants that pitch back, but still gets a fly out. Harper gets out. Bone, he gets to ground to second. Then bottom of the 8th inning, Dodgers did nothing against Duran. Duran did his job, goes 1-2-3. Top of the 9th, Roki goes 1-2-3. Guess what? Everyone freaked out about the Dodgers. Oh, the Dodgers. They didn't get Mason Miller because the Padres, they decided to trade everything in San Diego. Legoland, SeaWorld, Blink-182, Tony Hawk, the Tony Gwynn statue, Gas Lamp. I mean, they trade everything in San Diego for Mason Miller. They're in Cancun. The Phillies, let's trade some top prospects for Johan Duran. And yes, I would have loved to have Johan Duran on the Dodgers, but that was before I knew what Roki Sasaki was capable of as a reliever, as a lights-out, high-leverage weapon out of the pen. Well, guess what? Phillies gave up top picks, top prospects for Johan Duran. The Padres gave up top prospects for Mason Miller. The Dodgers got Roki Sasaki. They didn't have to give up a single prospect. He's on a minor league contract that's under team control for 6 years, and they're paying him less than $10 million. $7.5 million, little amateur signing bonus, and a minor league contract. And Roki Sasaki has had a better postseason than Mason Miller and Johan Duran, who, I don't know, if they're going to be hanging out in Cancun, I'm sure they will. So give credit to this Dodgers organization for having options, for supplying this team with depth to where, hey, this guy doesn't work, let's go to this guy. This guy doesn't work, let's try this guy out. What the Dodgers have is talent in a lot of positions, and just about optimizing that talent. And Roki Sasaki, he just decided to wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to start throwing 100 again. I'm going to start getting behind my fastball, and we're going to lower the arm slot angle from 48 to 41 degrees. My back foot's going to be explosive again. I'm going to pitch with confidence and conviction, and that's what we saw. He goes 1-2-3 there in the 9th inning. Bottom of the 9th inning, Max Muncy comes in to hit for Justin Dean. He flies to center. He goes down swinging. Pages flies to left. So guess what? It's extra innings. Roki back out there. He goes 1, 2, 3 again. He struck out Stott, the nasty four-seamer. They just ran in to righties. And then 10th inning, Thompson, he elects to go with Jesus Luzardo. And Luzardo, he was great. He really, really was. Luzardo, I mean, that guy's a dog. Sanchez is a dog. I mean, they got some serious pitchers for the Phillies. And it's Shohei Ohtani, and you're thinking, oh, hopefully Shohei Ohtani can have a moment in this series. And unfortunately, he goes down swinging. It just wasn't a good at bat. It wasn't seeing lefties well. He took a sweeper down and away for strike 3, and Shohei Ohtani went 1 for 18 this series. I will say, though, that one hit, that single that led to an extra run in game 2, that was pivotal because the Dodgers won that game, and it was by low margins, right? So it was 1 for 17, 1 for 18 this series, and he ends up going 1 for 18 with 9 strikeouts. So he did strike out a good amount. The Dodgers not really mounting a great inning there. Teoscar struck out swing to end that inning. And then a guy I want to show a lot of love to is Alex Vesia. Because Alex Vesia is one of the remaining members of last year's bullpen. You got him, you got Anthony Bonda, Blake Trine's still in there. But Vesia is a warrior. Vesia is an absolute dog. I talked to him after the game, and one thing he told me was that inning that he had in the 11th was arguably, possibly, most likely the most intense inning that he's ever pitched as a pro. And Alex Vesia, typically when he ends the inning with the monster strikeout, you see, and him losing his mind and going crazy. And he did that a little bit, but you saw him walking off that mound huffing and puffing because he told me he was exhausted. He had that 7-pitch at bat to Harper there where he walked him on 7 pitches, got Bohm to line out to center. But then the move from Thompson, it was a nice chess match going on tonight with Dave Roberts and Thompson, manager of the Phillies. Rob Thompson over there. Got some super chats. We'll read those in a second. It was a nice chess match between the two managers. And Thompson elects to go with Harrison Bader, dealing with the injury, groin, just not fully healthy in this one. And Harrison Bader's a guy that made a big catch for them in an earlier game. And he was going to be a pinch hitter, and that was going to be his role. But he's been doing that groin injury, and he was not 100%. But he's at the plate with the runner on second, a 10-pitch at bat. 10-pitch at bat, Vesia to Harrison Bader. On the 10th pitch, he gets him to swing at a slider away, and that was monster. That was monster right there. Alex Vesia deserves a ton of credit. He really does. I mean, a 21-pitch inning there, and he's throwing changeup, he's throwing four-seam, he's throwing slider. And some of those four-seamers, he was missing a little middle. You want him to stay in the upper quadrants of the zone, and the changeup was a little low. The slider was a little low, wasn't back-footing it as well. So, but what I love about it is he didn't have his best mechanics, his most efficient appearance. But like the rest of this team, I think the theme was we are going to win this game by any means necessary. I guarantee you, no one on this Dodgers team got a suitcase out, got a ride or anything. Like, none of these guys had packed for Philly. None of them. Like, I guarantee they said, we ain't going to Philly. The next time we're going to Philly is when we play this team next year, because this team was not going to Philly. And I think that as a group, what I loved about tonight's game, to this afternoon's game, was the grit that they showed collectively, where there wasn't, let's blow this team out, steamroll these guys. It was, no, we are going to just keep fighting, like Mookie Betts said, and we're going to find a way to win this baseball game, and they did just that. But here was Alex Vesia, man. We got to hear from Vesia, because this guy he really is turning into kind of one of the leaders from the pitching side. I mean, a guy that you really trust out there in the biggest spots, to not be afraid to compete, not be afraid to go out there and really put this team in a position where, hey, what does Alex Vesia always tell me when I talk to him? He said, hey, my goal is I just want to get the boys back out there scoring runs. And that's what's always going through his mind. Hey, how do I get the boys back out there in the batter's box to score some runs? And he did just that. And bottom of the 11th inning, Jesus Luzardo out there again. A 1-1 game. And Freddie Freeman strikes out swinging. Tommy Tanks, great at bat. We saw a lot of long at bats tonight, a lot of fouls on, a lot of pitches they fouled off, tough pitches to just stay in counts, get guys tired. When you take good at bats, you stress pitchers out. When you stress pitchers out, they're not always in the best position to make the right decisions. And I think we saw that in this one. Tommy Edman gets a 1-out single. Then Hyeon-seong Kim comes in to run for Tommy Edman, who's still working with that ankle injury. And HSK, you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, is Kim going to have a 2004 Dave Roberts moment where he has to steal a base that everyone expects him to steal? It did feel like that. But then give credit. A couple batters later, Max Muncy, he singles to center. But it was another 6-pitch at bat for Smith before that. So getting the pitch count up. Then Muncy comes in. He singles on a sweeper away, and then that knocked out Luzardo. So it was Kike that knocked out Sanchez. It was Muncy that knocked out Luzardo. And then in comes a player that will go down as an infamous player in Philadelphia sports history. It was a play that we're never going to forget, a moment we're never going to forget. And Orion Kerkering, he comes in, and it's Kike Hernandez at the plate. With Kike at the plate, runners on the corners, you feel like, oh, Kike is going to push the envelope. Remember, there's 2 outs here. It's not like he can go up there and just free swing and hope that something happens and a sac fly ties it. No, he's got to go up there and be selective, and he does that. And he draws a 6-pitch walk. I think it was a very mature at-bat for Kike. He laid off a sweeper away. He laid off a four-seamer up. And like I said earlier, what I loved about Kike was he was in positions to be the hero tonight, but he did not have selfish at-bats. He went out there and he took pitches. He drew walks. He got key singles. He wasn't just shooting for slug, trying to hit a 10-run home run. No, Kike went out there and he gave you team at-bats, situational at-bats. And it was another example there. Walking the bases to load the bases. And then that brings up Andy Pages. And I'm sitting right there, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I love the unselfish mindset for Kike Hernandez. That's wonderful. But with how much Andy Pages had struggled this series, was 1 for 20 at one point. Dave Roberts just yesterday had used Miguel Rojas to pinch hit for Andy Pages. And you're thinking to yourself, man, do I really want Andy Pages to decide this game with his at-bat? Or do I want to have Kike Hernandez just swing at something, right? Foul off a pitch off the plate just to see another pitch in the zone, hopefully. I was hoping that Kike could have ended that thing and not put it in Andy Pages' hands because Pages had been struggling this series. But then he puts the ball in play. An 0-1 count. He hits one back to the pitcher. And Kerkering, despite the fact that JT Realmuto is pointing at first base, it was standard PFP, pitcher fielding practice. Had he have fielded it, gone to first, then we are headed to the 12th. Instead, I think an underrated aspect of this was the speed of Hyeon-seong Kim. And Tommy Edman's typically a guy that he's a great base runner. And if he was healthy, maybe you don't use Kim as a pinch runner. But what I love about the way this Dodgers roster is constructed, everyone has a role. Justin Dean making a big catch yesterday, having a defensive substitution. Alex Call coming in today against Sanchez, a guy that can hit lefties and get on base and grind out at bats. Everyone on this team has a role, and Hyeon-seong Kim had not been utilized in his role until this very inning. And I think the speed of Kim coming down the line, the fact that it's a little comebacker right there, let's call it what it is. Kerkering panicked. Kerkering goes home on a wild throw, and then Hyeon-seong Kim scores, and Hyeon-seong Kim saves the day for the Dodgers because he's the guy that gets in there, and it was just a wonderful moment. I'm telling you, that was the loudest I've seen Dodger Stadium all season. The place went berserk. It felt like Dodgers heaven out there. It really, really did. Guys were going crazy. The team was going crazy. The fans were going crazy. And I do think that, yes, that was a bad play. And that's one of the stories of this game, right? You had Emmet Sheehan's error. You had that cost them a run. And then you had Kerkering's error that cost them a run. And you had Trey Turner made a really nice diving catch on a liner by Kike Hernandez earlier in the game. You had that really nice dive there by Kepler in left. There were some really nice defensive plays that limited hits, but there was also some plays at the end that is going to be one of those talked about plays. I mean, that was one of the worst ways, if you're a Philly fan, that you could ever lose a baseball game. It'd be one thing if there was one out there and you're just trying to make a play. No, that was the wrong decision, and that was a terrible play. But thankfully, the Dodgers have that great luck, and you got to be a little lucky there. And let's be honest here. I mean, that was a play where it's kind of how you always hear about you hear about the ghost of Yankee Stadium. I think there's the ghost of Dodger Stadium too, right? I mean, what did Tommy Lasorda say? If you're not a Dodgers fan, you're probably not going to go to heaven, right? I think there's a little Tommy Lasorda in there, a little Vin Scully in there, right? Just a little Fernando in there. I mean, I think that the Dodger Stadium has that same aura, that same feel where that place is rocking, right? And everyone's talking about the Philly crowd and how much of an impact they have. That Dodgers crowd, they were on it, and Kerkering just, hey, he's a Dodgers legend, right? Kerkering deserves some credit for this one too, man. Well, let's get him a ring when the Dodgers win it this year. And I briefly caught up with Hyeon-seong Kim in that Dodgers clubhouse after the game during the celebration, and I asked him about that play, and hey, he didn't need a translator, right? Here's me talking to Hyeon-seong Kim in fluent English. My man HSK, love the comment.
Hyeon-seong, you scored that game-winning run. How exciting was that? Me? Yeah. Woo! You're happy. There you go, Eric. Congratulations, Hyeon-seong. You're the man.
A happy Hyeon-seong. Let's run that back.
Hyeon-seong, you scored that game-winning run. How exciting was that? Me? Yeah. Woo! You're happy. There you go, Eric. Congratulations, Hyeon-seong. You're the man.
Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. And Orion Kerkering, if you got to see this picture here. Look at this. This is it's the polar opposites. It's the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. If the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat was in one picture, it would be here. Frame this and put this in the loop. Look at this shot right here. Look at this shot. You got Mookie Betts. Mookie's essentially levitating. Mookie is levitating, and my man's just athletic. Look at Mookie. Look at Freddie. I love Freddie. He's always celebrating, got his hands up. You got Vesia, you got Call, you got Rojas. Look at Kerkering. Dude looks like he's going to throw up. Dude looks like he is done. I mean, look at how devastated he looked. You almost feel bad for the guy, but then it's like you don't because, like, screw the Phillies. But just, I mean, Kerkering, it just is one of those plays. I want to know how you guys reacted to. What was your reaction? Because I got a text from a Phillies beat writer that's also a Phillies fan, and he literally just texted me saying, I'm dead inside. And give this Dodgers team credit, right? They held the top of this lineup for the Phillies to 1 for 14, and that only hit being that Schwarber double off of Glasnow early in the game. So, I mean, give them a lot of credit in this one because the hits were at a premium. Both offenses just could not figure out the starters, the relievers. Shohei Ohtani. Think about this. If I told you that Shohei was going 1 for 18, the Dodgers beat the Phillies in 4, that's why Shohei is a Dodger. That's why Shohei is on this team, because it's a team that can win. And I'm certain that he's going to have his big moments at some point. But, man, Kerkering, that's just an all-time ugly play. But let's hear from Dave Roberts after the game. Actually, let's hear from Hyeon-seong Kim, who scored the game-winning run.
You share what you were reading there on that play when you were seeing just Kerkering when he kind of overthrew that ball. What were you reading or what were you looking for?
그래서 그 투수가 던졌을 그 상황 때 뭐를 읽었고 어떤 생각을 하셨는지 궁금합니다.
일단 주자에서 마지막에는 그냥 제가 할 수 있는 게 일단 홈까지 전력 뛰기라서 그냥 맞는 순간 아까 말했듯이 맞는 순간 그냥 슬라이딩보다는 전력으로 뛰어야겠다는 생각을 했습니다.
Yeah, the only thing I knew I had to do was just run as hard as I could and step on the home plate. So I didn't think about sliding or anything, but I knew I had to just run through the bases.
When Dave Roberts put you on this postseason roster, he talked about how a factor your speed was going to be. To see it play out, to close out the NLDS, what does that mean for you to be in that moment?
그래서 로버츠 감독님께서 이 NLDS 로스터에 이제 넣었을 때 혜성 선수의 스피드가 얼마나 중요한 순간이 올지를 말씀하셨는데 그 순간이 이제 실제로 일어났는데 어떤 기분인지 궁금합니다.
일단 뭐 물론 제가 경기에 많이 나가고 있진 않지만 로스터에 있을 때 팀에 꼭 보탬이 되는 선수가 되고 싶기 때문에 언제든 나갔을 때 팀이 어떻게든 승리할 수 있게끔 잘 보탬이 되고 싶다고 말해주세요.
Yeah, I know I'm not playing a ton of games right now, but I know exactly what I need to do and I know my role. So I just want to help the team in any way possible, and I'm glad I was able to help the team tonight.
Shout out to Hyeon-seong Kim, a role on this team. I got an early. By the way, we got a new shirt, new Roki Sasaki Demon shirt. You guys can find that over at gearup.la. But hey, how about this comment here from Pix Graphics saying Cancun. Cancun. Hey man, I saw people. Everyone is getting his back, and yeah, of course you don't want to shame this guy. Absolutely, he actually, you got to give him a lot of credit, man. I mean, he stepped up to the reporters after the game. You hate to see. I mean, I always think of what Vince Scully would do, and Vince Scully would always say, I mean, as much of a Dodger legend he is, he's a guy that, look, his favorite player, Vince Scully's favorite player of all time is Willie Mays, right? And Vince Scully would often say that what he would pray for before big games, is all he would pray for. He wouldn't pray for the Dodgers to win. He would pray for no player to be a GOAT. And this was before GOAT meant greatest of all time in the current vernacular and lexicon of today. It was when GOAT had a negative connotation, right? And he just wanted no one to be a GOAT. And tonight was one of those where Kerkering was, he just, look, I mean, it was a tough play, lots of pressure on him. He just had to go to first, and you would see the 12th inning. But I'm curious to see what he had to say. Here was him after the game.
Shit off my foot. Just kind of, once that pressure got to me, I just thought it was a faster throw to JT, a little quicker throw than trying to cross body at the Bryce. So just a horse shit throw.
Yeah. Did you hear them telling you to go to first at all, or were you just in the moment that it wasn't even?
Just in the moment.
Yeah.
Can you see JT pointing in that moment, or is it just kind of looking up?
Just kind of looking up, just be ready to go.
I mean, a lot of guys that remember you, Nick, was one of the first ones there. Just what do the guys say to you in that moment?
Just keep your head up. It's honest mistake. Just it's baseball. Shit happens, and just keep your head up. You'll be good for a long time to come. It's not my fault. Just had opportunities to score. Just keep your head up.
In conversation with Rob too, what did he say? What does that stuff mean to you? Care about those guys picking you up so quick?
It means a lot. It shows they care a lot. Just means everything for sure.
I'm sure a lot of guys in here have had moments early in their career that, I think kind of remember very vividly. How much do you think you can use this kind of in the off season to for good?
For sure. Yeah, the wall with a tennis ball for sure. But yeah, just kind of keep going with it. Hopefully it started a long career. Just keep back in my head of this really fucking sucks right now, but hopefully keep pushing and get over this hump. Keep pushing.
Man, honestly, I respect to him, man. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Respect to him. Like straight up, like to step up to reporters in a tough situation and just kind of eat it like that. He knows he messed up. He called it a horse-s throw. And honestly, I respect for the guy. I really do, because even the greats are going to make some mistakes at times, and you want to laugh at the dude. You want to say this and that. But, hey, these guys are in the arena competing, and it's just a tough play just because, I mean, the truth is it's still a force out, and if he makes that throw, and he probably makes that throw like 9 out of 10 times, and no one's even going to remember it. So, yeah, I mean, if I was a Phillies fan, I'd be more upset with the series that Trey Turner had or Bryce Harper had. Or, I mean, Kyle Schwarber came alive, but their big three, they did not do enough. And, hey, did the Dodgers' big three do enough? I think Mookie Betts did. I think Freddie Freeman did. Look, Shohei puts pressure on the pitchers. And the best, and he pitched in this series, damn it. He pitched in this series. He gave you 6 great innings. In a start, so in a game that they won. So to act like Shohei didn't do anything is utterly ridiculous. So, I mean, look, it's tough. I mean, this whole game was insane. Like, I didn't enjoy a second of this game. I really didn't. Like, it was so tough to enjoy this game because it was so close. It was so tight. The butt cheeks were clenched. And now we can unclench those butt cheeks and celebrate an NLDS. But I want to hear from Dave. Let's hear from Roki Sasaki. Because the biggest story for the entire game, the number one story is Roki Sasaki. He didn't just go 3 scoreless. Why do I see everyone saying 3 scoreless? The dude went 3 hitless. The dude has established himself as a star. He's someone that I think is going to be a household name. He's someone that is going to join Dodgers lore because he literally saved the Dodgers bullpen. He literally saved it. Without Roki Sasaki, I don't think they win this series. And he was big in this game. He was big in the first game. He was big in the second game. He had his fingerprints. In all 3 of the Dodgers wins. Who's getting the MVP this series for me? I know Teo, the big 3-run shot. But for me, the MVP of this series was Roki Sasaki. Because without Roki Sasaki, who's going here? Kersh, Trinan, Vesia, who's getting those final 3 outs? Roki Sasaki saved the bullpen. I think he saved the Dodgers season. He's my MVP. And here's Roki after the game.
Dylan on the right.
Whoops. It was not Roki. I'll get my Roki in a second here. But that was a moment in this game where you feel like not only is he good, but I think he has the potential to be elite, the potential to be one of the best we've seen because how good this stuff is. What the thing about Roki Sasaki that blows your mind, the thing about Roki Sasaki that truly blows your mind is, we talk about, what do we talk about early in the series with Andy Pages telling Teo pitch location. Roki's so good that you can say, hey, splitter's coming, they still might not hit it. Fastball's on its way, they still might be late on it. And what makes him so lethal as a bullpen piece is, yes, you still need to see him develop that slider. Yes, he is throwing more two-seamer. He's throwing some sinker that's running in on righties. You're seeing that run on the... He's just got that really nice arm side run to righties where it's tailing in, and that's because the different two-seam grip on it, the sinker grip on it. But what makes him so devastating as a closer, as a reliever, is they have to respect 100. You got to respect 100 and 101. You got to respect straight gas. And my dude's cooking with straight gas right now after throwing 95, 96 this season. I mean, he was at 87, 91. Now he's 93 high octane in the Bugatti level gas, right? And now you're seeing a Roki Sasaki that has corrected the mechanics, and they have to respect the fastball. And when you have to respect the fastball, that means you can't just stay back and look for that splitter. And if that splitter and that fork ball is as devastating as it is, well, then you can't sit on that, because then he'll blow a fastball right by you. And we saw that in multiple instances in this game. So, hey, a star is born. I stuck with my guy the whole time. I saw people in the chat early in the year, D-Mac, let's look. I coined the phrase Roki of the Year, and you guys were clowning me because I put it on a t-shirt. D-Mac, you jinxed him by calling him Roki of the Year. He's not the Roki of the Year. He's the worst Roki of the Year, and things like that, right? But the talent was always there. And talent you can't teach. And now he's realizing that talent at the best possible time for the Dodgers. And I think that a couple weeks from now, when the Dodgers win the World Series, and you write out a list of names, if you want to write out those names for who are the most important players that helped them win that World Series, I think there's a world where he's one of the 5 most important Dodgers that's going to help them win a World Series this year. And to think that he was the MVP, if I told you in March and April that the MVP was going to be Roki in the NLDS, not Shohei, not Freddie, not Mookie, not Teo, not Yamamoto, not Snell, would you believe me? No. But that's why baseball is incredible, because you just never know what's going to happen in this crazy sport. Here's Roki Sasaki in the Dodgers media room talking to reporters after the game.
Dylan?
When you came off the field after the 10th inning, I saw Dave Roberts come out onto like the dirt there on the warning track and give you a big hug. What were your emotions at that time?
10回登板を終えて監督から大きなハググラウンドでもらいましたけども、その時の気持ちはどうでしたか？
そうですね、3イニング抑えれてよかったなとほっとした気持ちです。
I was just relieved that I was able to get the just be able to pitch the 3 innings.
Next question. Go here to the left, second row.
You've pitched big games in Japan. What is the atmosphere like in terms of being in the playoffs at Dodger Stadium in the major leagues as far as the difference?
日本でプレーオフで登板したことはあると思いますけども、それと比べてアメリカのメジャーでドジャースタジアムでのプレーオフの雰囲気っていうのはどうでしたか？どういう感じ？
そうですね、盛り上がり自体は日本もアメリカも、シーズンと違ったものはありますし、先にフィラデルフィアの方で、いい経験ができたので、今日はこう特にこうなんていうんですかね、緊張しすぎることなく、いつも通り入れたかなと思ってます。
Yeah, I've experienced the playoff atmosphere here in the U.S. and in Japan, and I'm glad that I was able to get a little bit of that experience in Philadelphia. So when I came back here to pitch at Dodger Stadium, I didn't feel any nerves.
Next question. Have anything else in English? Okay, in the back and the left.
Your stuff on the mound has always been fantastic. It seemed like the confidence just needed to catch up, and now it seems like you're as confident as can possibly be. Is that the case in this new role?
球の質が戻ってなんか自信が取り戻ったのかなと思うんですけども、実際そういう感じな過程でしたか？
そうですね、ストレートの強さとスピードとコントロールが、自分の中でこういいラインまで来たので、ゾーンで勝負できるようになりましたし、その分変化球も、より生きてくる感じは感じるので、ゾーンでこうそれがゾーンで勝負できる要因かなと思います。
That's exactly right. Just felt like my fastball velo was back to where it used to be, and the command of the fastball was, where I wanted to be as well. So I think that really helps with the off speed. And because of that, I do really feel confident to be able to attack in zone.
Okay, going back to Michael on the right.
Over here, Will. You had such success in Japan, Roki. Why, whether it was before the season when you were meeting with teams or in the season in Arizona, were you so open to having the pitching coaches change something about you or change something about your delivery? And do you think that small change they made unlocked something in you?
オフシーズン中、その球団にその球速を上げるためのその工夫とかアドバイスとか聞いてたと思うんですけども、それを得て、その何かのアドバイスを得て、何か開花したっていうことでしたかと。
そうですね、マイナーでリハビリしている時のアリゾナで、ピッチングコーチというか、その人と喋って、その人がこうどう思ってるかっていう、投球フォームに関して、そこに、まず話を聞いて、その中でこうどうアプローチしていくかはこうまた別の話で、どこがこう問題かっていうところを、話を聞いて、自分の中でこう、うまくいってないところと、一致する部分があったので、そこから、アプローチはまた別ですけど、そこでこう、お互いこう問題というかその悪くなっている要因のところはこう 一緒だなっていう確認がその時できました。
Yeah, I like to give credit to the pitching coach in Arizona when I was rehabbing, being able to identify clearly what the issue was and to come to some kind of agreement on what the actual root of the problem is. Now, in terms of how to, get to that point, now that was a different process, but in terms of it really just helped me as I gained my velo back, that I was able to really identify and have a clear path forward.
All right, there was Roki Sasaki. Just incredible stuff. Let's read some comments here. We'll hear from Dave Roberts, guys. And then tomorrow, it's 11:56. Wow. And then tomorrow we'll do a full-blown. Got some interviews tomorrow too. And it's gonna be exciting stuff. I want to read some of your comments, guys. Let's keep it going here. We got Brewers suck from Andy Chen. We've got a super chat from Ken Tingeris, $20. I know people say the arm slot and all that, but the biggest difference I see in Roki is confidence level. Roki that teared up earlier this season isn't this Roki who said he wasn't nervous at all. He's a different player now. Yeah, I think it's easier to be confident when you can throw 100, though, right? It's kind of chicken or the egg. So I totally agree, though. The confidence is major. We've got Please Sit Pajes for Michael Conforto. That's from No Young 199. Yeah, tomorrow we'll talk about the NLCS and looking ahead to that. The Cubs, the Brewers. A. Potter says, I'm the closer for sure. Roki Sasaki is a sicko. Yeah, his stuff is sick. That is for sure. We've got my Ghost Splitter is virtually unhittable. It absolutely is. Okay, so let's hear from Dave Roberts. But first, this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live is presented by the LA Sports Report. That's my new show where tonight I'm going to be up for the next 2 hours doing a video breakdown of tonight's game. So if you want to watch a video breakdown of tonight's NLDS thriller, subscribe to the LA Sports Report. And also we're doing a giveaway over there too. So the LA Sports Report for Lakers fans, Kings fans, USC, UCLA, Rams, Chargers, all things LA sports, Lakers. We're going to find it over there at the LA Sports Report. LA is the sports capital of the world. The Lakers have entered their Luka Doncic era. LeBron doesn't just want a farewell tour, he wants a farewell title. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Go, Kings, go! The Dodgers are the best run franchise in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT. Steve Ballmer will do anything to get the Clippers a championship. Mick Cronin has to win a national championship at UCLA. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league. College football is just better when USC is good. This whole city has the Mamba mentality. I love LA. All right, so check that out, the LA Sports Report for sure. Now let's hear from Dave Roberts, because he said that tonight was one of the greatest reliever performances we've ever seen in the history of Major League Baseball, with Roki's 3 hitless tonight against the Phillies.
Okay, we're going to start all the way in the back.
First off, I'll start. I want to, congratulate the Phillies on a tremendous season. First class organization. Dombo, Rob, what they, their organization, their players, how they put together things. I mean, it was a war. It was a battle. And, instant classic game. And I just want to congratulate those guys on a great year.
Dave, can you just talk about Roki's growth this season and what he's meant to you guys now in his role as a closer?
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's, you're talking about, one of the great all-time appearances out of the pen, that I can remember. Certainly given, where he started this year, what he is as a starting pitcher, to go out there and, not only go 1 inning, 2 innings, and then 3 innings, and to do what he did gave us a huge boost. I can't speak enough to his growth and, his contribution to this club. And, we're starting to, see something really special in him, and that's why he was courted so hard in the offseason. But, what he's done now on the biggest of stages, he's just scratching the surface. But, couldn't be more proud of him.
Go left.
Dave, can you talk about Glasnow as far as last year not being in the playoffs and now having this opportunity, as you say, the big stage for Tyler?
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited for Tyler. a little bit looking on the outside, looking in last year and wanting to be a part of things. And, all offseason, this season, he couldn't wait for this moment, for the postseason and to contribute. And so he's prepared physically, mentally, and what he did, it was his time today. Today was his moment, and I was just very happy to see that he rose to that occasion and gave us a huge boost. And this is something that I know is going to propel him going forward.
Dylan.
With Sasaki, were you thinking multiple innings from the start?
I was thinking at that point in time when we went to him, I was thinking 2. And then I just felt that the stuff, where the game was at, I felt he could handle us pushing him. And he didn't bat an eye. He was ready, and he didn't run from it. So, it's part of the Japanese culture, the toughness. He's been a star his entire life. And I just felt that, in that moment in the 9th inning, he was the best option right there to keep this game going.
I don't think I've seen you come out of the dugout to greet a pitcher coming off,
I just think that.
What were you feeling at that time?
Yeah, I was pure elation. I think that a lot of times, for me as a coach, I pull for the players, and just seeing, in April and May when Roki was sitting at the end of the dugout, watching his team play, being injured, not performing well, and sticking with him, building a relationship with him, and to now see him not only go 1 inning but 2 innings, to be our closer, and to go 3 innings, I just felt so happy for him, and that's kind of where that came from.
Just one last one from me. You mentioned those early months, and I would even go back to that introductory press conference. I didn't sense a ton of confidence almost from him, body language-wise. The confidence, I guess, that he's shown since he's come back. Were you surprised at all that was in there?
I was. Roki's a young player, and I think that he's very shy, reserved. But I do think that him coming back, he's opened up a lot more. I think he's showing more who he really is and showing some emotion. The toughness is certainly there, and he's embracing it. And I think that, his teammates couldn't be more excited for him, and that's growth and maturity.
You go in the back on the left?
Obviously, you take the win, but what are your feelings when it comes to Orion Kerkering right now, seeing that happen on the other side?
Oh, it's brutal. Obviously, they played great defense tonight. It's one of those things that it's a PFP, a pitcher's fielding practice, and he's done it 1,000 times. And, just right there, he was so focused, I'm sure, on just getting the hitter and, just sort of forgot, the outs in the situation. So, Kerkering is a stud, and, you definitely feel for a player. And I'm obviously happy that we won, but it's just, he's had a heck of a year and is a heck of a pitcher.
Do you think your players sharing that sympathy?
I don't know. I think that no one wants anyone to kind of, bear that, but he's a heck of a pitcher. And, for us, obviously, as Dodgers, we're happy with the result.
Anything else to Doc?
That was Dave Roberts. Yeah, Kerkering, man. I wonder what's going to be the reaction in Philly, because we know Philly, there's such a caring and understanding and welcoming group of fans and people. I'm sure they're not going to say nasty things. I'm sure they're going to get his back and defend him on all this. Of course, they're probably flooding his DMs with probably nasty stuff, and you're probably getting death threats because we know Philly is Philly. But having said that, there's a couple things here. If I'm a Philly fan, you know what I'm pissed at? I'm pissed at you intentionally loading the bases. Intentionally loading the bases when you intentionally walked Shohei Ohtani in the 7th inning to load the bases for Mookie Betts. And I think that, to me, is what I would question, because it's not easy to hit Duran, but you put a lot of pressure on him to throw strikes against Mookie Betts, and Mookie was very selective in that bat. That's what I would be pissed at. I'd be pissed at Thompson. I'd be pissed at Bryce Harper and Trey Turner. By the way, where are all those Dodgers fans? I remember so many Dodgers fans on Twitter when Mookie was going through its slump saying that, Bryce Harper, they should have signed him over Mookie Betts. That's clown stuff. Mookie Betts, I'd rather have him on my team than Bryce Harper. I just would. And that's no slight to Bryce because Mookie just has great leadership qualities, and I think he's perfect for this team. And Mookie Betts might go down as one of the best defenders ever just because he's really turned himself into a great shortstop after being a 6-time Gold Glove award-winning right fielder. Another thing I want to give credit to is Hyeon-seong Kim. If you go back and watch the play where he scores, he was ruled safe, but he comes back and he touched the base. So if he missed the base, he came back and touched the base, and that's just a savvy play by Hyeon-seong Kim. So a walk-off error, and we're going to break this whole thing down. Like I said, go to the LA Sports Report. We're going to do a video breakdown. I'm going to drop that in a little bit. But, look, it's Roki MFing Sasaki. The savior saved this team. Look, I think of him with the swag, with the jacket. I mean, he was incredible. He was the MVP of the series, and this Dodgers team, I think they beat the best team they're going to play this postseason, and they still have a lot of work to do to get 8 more wins. But the number one most difficult thing that I think they had to do this postseason was go on the road in a short series and beat the Philadelphia Phillies. And they just did that, and they did it in 4 games. In a series where Shohei Ohtani wasn't great at the plate, but you found a way to win. And I still think, my point of saying that, I still think the Dodgers' best baseball is ahead of them. But guys, let's read some comments here, and then we're going to get out of here. I know it's late. It's 12:07. A super chat from Bernie Benz 499. How likely are we to see a Kendricky and a Drake World Series performance at the World Series if the Blue Jays make it? That's a fire take. Fire take. I would say pretty unlikely, though. But I know what you mean. Like, you got the Ice Cube and the Fat Joe. Delirium, yep, I saw that. But upon review, we could have had said JT was blocking the plate. Surely, but still, I'm just giving Kim heads up credit for that. I mean, it's midnight. D-Mac, you're the real MVP. Thanks, TJ Martinez. You know how to talk to you guys really like my best friends out there in the world. Appreciate you, TJ. Spencer, Cancun, Manny. By the way, I see, this is funny. There's a guy here that says, like, Manny's #1 fan hates D-Mac, and his profile pic is me eating that 16-inch glizzy with that big hot dog in my mouth. So I respect the troll. He says, Manny Machado is chilling in Cancun right now. At least he doesn't blow a World Series every year. Yeah, like they did last year, right? You're hilarious. I'm still hoping for a Dodgers-Tigers World Series. Every player did well. Adam Cohn, 499. Ohtani versus Betts is pitch on around 100 ABS. Did Duran have his special entrance? Because that entrance belongs to Roki now. Yeah, 499. I love that Roki song. It's like a Spanish, I think it's fire, bro. Roki song. Yeah, D-Mac, I'm sure you like it big. Come on, number one. You're killing me, man. I've been up since 7 in the morning. Anyone knows available up to the pen of the 11, and they're going to go to him. I mean, obviously, you're probably going to see Blake Tryon at some point. I mean, Jack Dreyer you could possibly see in a matchup potentially. I mean, at that point, you're just trying to end a series. Who knows? Would they have gone crazy, and would you have seen Blake Snell warm up at some point? Would you see a Shohei Ohtani warm up at some point? I mean, they burned Luzardo. I think at that point, everything's on the table if you're tied or you get a lead. If you're trailing, maybe not. All right, guys, so that's going to do it, though. We'll do another jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live tomorrow, break down more stuff, do some more interviews I got to show you guys. Let me get my last shout-outs here. N-Rocks, what up? We got Mr. Devil, VIP fan. Justin, we appreciate D-Mac. Thanks, Justin. Seda, D-Mac going past the midnight hour. D-Mac, who would you want to play next, the Cubs or the Brewers? I want to see the Cubs because I think that's just a series the Dodgers should handle. I think Wrigley Field is always special. We saw it in 2017. I'm not afraid of anyone. The remainder, look, baseball's baseball, and teams can beat the Dodgers. There's no guarantees in this sport. But the Phillies were the toughest team. And I hope there's not an emotional letdown after beating the Phillies because you can't take any team lightly. Of course, you like the Cubs, so you get home field advantage. And I think from a matchup standpoint, the Dodgers Phillies, they were the one team that can go bar for bar in a lot of different positions when it comes to just pure talent. And you're not going to see that for the rest of the way. The Dodgers are going to have a talent advantage, a clear talent advantage over where they play. Lola, what Lola wants, Lola got. I like that, Lola. Appreciate you, as always. Roseman, D-Mac working hard out there. It's $5. Nothing like a late-night Dodgers podcast. Thanks, Art, Joe, go. You're drunk, D-Mac, go to sleep. Yeah, right. That is, I'm a lightweight. I'm pretty sloshed. I'm a little inebriated off one Modelo. Come on now. But all right, guys, thanks again. As always, bye, Philly. Bye, Philly. Philly fanatics. Hey, red October? No, it's a blue October. Only thing red is what the Phillies saw today when Kerkering blew that throw because it was over for them. And the Dodgers, they get the series win in 4 games. You love to see it. But that's going to do it for this episode. And, hey, guys, we still have 8 games to win. We still have 2 more 7-game series to go through. We are not even halfway through this postseason. So buckle up, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers, who beat the Phillies in the NLDS. And we are celebrating. Enjoy this one. It was a nail-biter. It was one that we will never forget. And the Dodgers, they triumphed, and you love to see it. So 8 more. Let's keep this thing rolling. And I'll see you tomorrow for Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.